Nah. Nah. Okay. That concludes the mic check. Hello, everyone. It is the 11th of December, and I am fucking freezing. But hey, I'm playing loose and fast with the time. 5 days left. I'm sure I should be able to get through this if I'm able to stream at least somewhat consistently this week. But hello everyone, it's been a little while. I've been very inconsistent for the past couple of weeks. Just like working on stuff and also job. But yeah. I'm really looking forward to playing this though. I've been looking forward to another one of these since whatever it's called. Stortifera. Also, not gonna lie, sometimes I listen to the music and I think a little bit of Punishing Grey Raven. Not quite as, you know, energetic as the music in that game, but it's the folk music in the background, the choir. I suppose I could also say Tower of God because it's a similar vibe. It's that sort of music. Anyway. Where's your snorkel and diver's mask here? Hello, I am under the water. Please help. Okay, just gonna give it a little moment. I think, however, the going live message has already gone out. It has? Okay. Huh. Oh no, I can't find... There it is, there's OBS. God, I'm so out of sync now. I think audio is fine. It's up in a decent level. I could probably take it up a notch. There we go. That should be fine. I'm pretty much going to go right into it. This event sort of just dropped on my lap one day and I didn't realize it was coming. Like, I mean, I vaguely remember it being mentioned, but then I stopped paying attention and then it just appeared one day. I'm like, oh god. So, starting with the first bit, Tide Watcher. People dreamed wild dreams about the cities beneath the waves before they saw one with their own eyes. Are we going to get a Welcome to Rapture moment? Because I feel like we're going to get a Welcome to Rapture moment. A hunter is walking on Seacoast Way. With homeland left a mile behind, his path lies ahead. Very short by Arknights standards, yeah, fair. Hello, Scarf. Also, hello, Les. Hello, Speedy. From his forebears and children, he was torn. Into the seas, his lover was swept away, floating in the deep, dead. Yes, you're on time, Tor. And I started on time too, which is rare. So hello, Knight. A hunter is walking on the Seacoast Way. With homeland left a mile behind, they must lament and pray. There is no end to his path. The road ahead is shrouded in grey. Oh, yeah, we're back at El Faro. Is it El Faro? Grand Faro, sorry. El Faro is a real place. Now play Hunter's song. Oh, is this actually lyrics to one of the EPs? Have you rolled for Bloodborne Jotaro? I did, but I only had a little bit of currency to do so, so I didn't get him. A hunter returns by Seacoast Way. His journey ended, his home close at hand. Sound of waves passed above the spray. Why do his feet disobey his command? Why ever does his heart still sway? These are not the lyrics to Hunter's song, though there's similarities. Oh, okay. Oh, we're already here. Long time no see, Scaddy. It actually has, to be honest. It's been quite a while. At least as far as I can remember. Doctor jump scare, yeah, literally. I wasn't for some reason I wasn't expecting us to be there right away. I think it's because a lot of the time these events, if we are in the event, we tend to be like a little bit later on. Anyway, been a while, Doctor. You were supposed to meet that chatty Liberry, but you don't seem surprised to see me. You and Elysium are both roads operators. I'll go with this one. True. You're an hour later than Calcit estimated. Oh god. Are we gonna get like a 5-hour lecture about being late? I guess the Inquisition's review process is strict, even with an official notice from a saint. After only 3 months, nearly all the town's residents have moved inland, aside from a few workers, replaced by lots of people from the Penal Battalion. They must be preparing something. Agir It was Agir, isn't it? Yeah. Agir contacted Iberia a week ago. This forgotten town has become a lot less quiet since. I wonder if this is referring to that one random message that we got from Agir in one of the, you know, terror videos. Which just sort of happened and then was never mentioned since. Being surrounded by sea scum already sets the young soldiers on edge. Hearing Agir's voice only made it worse. It demands a response, maybe caution. When the Undersea Nation finally speaks, you have to listen. But I think I'll go with the first one, to be honest. Turn left at the sculpture, and the sea is a quick 10-minute walk. We'll head straight to the Eye of Iberia. Say, Doctor, do you hear the sound of the waves? Well, we are on the coast. Even if this place does look like Rhondda, which is inland in the real world. Scaddy turns her head slightly into the sea breeze. Her hair dances in the wind, the same colour as the shadows in her eyes. I thought you were going to go on about the clouds, which is the same colour. Their layering has gotten complex. I hear the sound of stars drifting across the sky, a never-ending song of nature, and a language forever incomprehensible. Oh god, she's hearing Cthulhu. No, well, I mean, technically she is. Or I suppose Dagon would be the more accurate term. Shamla. I'm here. The hardship we suffer is ever present. The life we thirst for is ever present. She is Cthulhu. Yeah, that is true. I mean, technically, yeah. Especially if you go with the alternate version of her. I'm not going to assume. Are you alright, Scaddy? It's like I get more nervous the closer I am. Never mind. It's hard to explain. Maybe I'm sleep deprived. Ever since our last voyage, I feel like I've inherited sharks' nightmares. For a moment I thought I saw my breath, Jesus. Speaking of the sea, why did Dr. Kautzit call you over so urgently? Why, did she not spend half an event telling you yet? I don't remember you having anything to do with the ocean. I wouldn't recall if I did, but it doesn't feel unfamiliar at least. Huh, interesting. Not much of an answer. I find that vague and unconvincing, though. Right, I forgot about your condition. No wonder you gave such an answer. Oh well, I'm sure she had her reasons. Let's go, it'll be dark soon. Okay, that's a showing off. I was going to say something, but then I realised if I said it would actually be an insult, so I won't. I would take a step back if I were you. I need to shake myself dry. Hey there, Dr. Kautzit. Not many people can track us abyssal hunters. Did you Swordfish tell you we'd be coming ashore here in advance? Elysium deployed a data collector in these waters. It's had a direct connection to the Eye of Iberia's central control system ever since its calibration. And it can already track underwater targets. That Liberia's not half bad. So, sonar, I'm guessing. Am I to understand then that Rhode Island and the Inquisition have deepened their ties? 1 week ago, the undersea city contacted Iberia via a special comms frequency, informing them that Aegir would be establishing a waterway between the Aegir home territories and dry land. In the face of such a grand project, Iberia could only gather intelligence through the Great Lighthouse's positioning system. Evidently, your position as chief designer of warfare did not afford you any knowledge of this. Tell Kautzit what we discovered, Shark. The captain and I swam out to where the Stortifera sank 3 times now. Our last dive was only 10 days ago. The first time, we could still see the exploded wreck on the seafloor. Under what little light filtered through from the surface, the gilded interior was more like a smudge of paint. But this time around, the entire thing had completely disappeared, replaced by a cluster of chloral? A cluster of coral, thrumming with life. I may be accustomed to dreaming, but that felt unreal even to me. I like that Elysium's skill off to make people go, that idiot did that? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we all know like that one person who just seems like an absolute dumbass, but then when they're actually doing the thing that they're good at, you're just sort of like, whoa, okay. I mean, isn't there actually a term for it as well? Isn't it like crouching more on hidden badass or something? That monument to a lost civilization and its history stood for but a brief time. The Stortifera Navis has been completely claimed by the sea. Or to be precise, it's become part of a seaborn nest. I feel like you should have led with that bit. Their environmental assimilation is accelerating. They are the Borg. At a frightening pace. But there was something even more noteworthy. We found traces of battle. Recent ones. Oh? A completely barren patch of sea, lacking even marine snow. A warped and shattered stretch of the sea floor. clearly pockmarked by microsingularities. I'm sorry. A gear can do what? Only fleets of Aegir's legions could be behind that. As a landwalker counts it, the knowledge and interest you hold towards Aegir are nothing less than extraordinary. Though separated by the boundless sea, Aegir has always been part of Terra. Regardless, Gladia and I have decided to head to that city. A risky decision, no doubt. Perhaps a tad. Considerably. As such, we hunters have been observing it for a while. Before our final operation, I attended a military conference between the Academy of Science and the Academy of Technology, as the Abyssal Hunter's chief designer of warfare. Among the battle plans they drew up together, I did not recall anyone calling for military strongholds to approach dry land with, nor any project involving waterways. Hello, History. Aegir has, without a doubt, undergone great changes. Our contact with the home territories was completely severed after we slew Ishamla. It is difficult to determine the truth of the matter from the information we possess. Yet, still hardly reason enough for you to return to Aegir. I don't believe I'm the first to try and dissuade you either. Didn't your colleague already do so? Do you mean Ulpianus? He would understand that the land holds no answer for us. We must return to the sea. If his strategy is to maintain a distance from Aegir, then all the more reason for us to return in an official capacity. Ever since I awoke from my dream, the waves would tell me, time and again, that the lost should return home. Okay, yes, but is that actually what you should do, or is that like, you know, Dagon being like, come to us? The Abyssal Hunters must return. Very well, I understand. Then I'll go with you, Gladia. Also, who told me that this was going to be a shorter event when Calcit is in this? That would indeed be a rare opportunity for you. I will be representing more than myself on this visit. More than Rhode Island, even. Iberia as well. Even with all that you already bear, they would give you another burden. It was also my decision. Rhode Island's cooperation with the Iberian Inquisition has only just begun, much like our own. Calcit stares at Gladia. The huntress's face remains devoid of expression. Even the blowing sea wind failed to create it, to crease it, rather. After a short moment of silence, Gladia nods her head. Oh hey, we're back here. How many days has it been since we were contacted by Aegir, Rene? 8, Susantidad. Oh, okay, interesting. And outside of the necessary deployments, meetings, and to rest, you've spent those 8 days here watching the sea. They haven't given us a concrete time frame for their next contact. I understand you don't wish to miss their next move, but look at the sea before you, Rene. The colours of the deep sea bubble up, nearly indistinguishable from one another. Against the vastness of the ocean surface, the sky seems gloomy. The water crash against the reef, whipping up waves several meters tall, their roars dashing against this small corner of the land. By Iberian standards, an ocean without a hint of sea terror flesh is a gentle one, no matter how noisy it may be. An old friend of mine was once the most talented bard of the port. But after that grand port sank into silence, he fled north, past the starving masses, to the Iberian interior, to the small town that would one day become the capital. I saw him kneeling by the broken town gates, weeping uncontrollably. From his weeping, the town obtained its new name, Perdonidora. Forgiveness has left us. However, what people needed at the time was not mourning, but consolation. Many prefer to use the shortened form, Perdoni, forgiveness. And now, the last eye of Iberia, the final legacy of the Golden Age, shines bright once more. What do you think of that signal, Zerene? Hope and determination. Hope and determination, of course. Ah, youth. The determination in your eyes is brighter than Dario's when he was your age. Good, good. But those words, as inspiring as they are often not the fully correct answer. I mean, it worked in Undertale. After half a century of being pushed back, our front is finally advancing. Soon, this will be the new centre of the Inquisition. But at the same time, we must necessarily bear everything to the ocean, to seaborn and Daguerre alike. Iberia is stretched thin. This country can no longer hide its exhaustion and sickness. It is a simple fact, plain for all to see. And there is another fact to consider. We can retreat no further. Oh, hello, you're in a relatively fancy attire. Maestro, it's been a while, Doña Irene. Indeed, it has. Those clothes suit you. Thank you. Not gonna lie, he does look really cute, actually, in the oversized looking jacket. I mean, it's not really oversized, it's more like a trench coat type thing, but still, like, those are massive. Ah, right. There's been an emergency. The lighthouse just picked up signals of unknown origin. That moment of fluster and then, oh yeah, there was actually an issue. They seem to be coming from, they seem to be coming not... Why is that confusing me? Because normally I would say not from the sea, but in this way it works that way. It's just confused. It just confused me. They seem to be coming from not the sea, but the sky. Geordie, I think we can already see them. Hello, Code. Carmen and Irene are fixated on the distant sky. The young clerk follows suit. He freezes on the spot. See, on the list of things that I was expecting out of this event, an invasion of the sea, a issue with Iberia and Aegir perhaps, perhaps seeing how advanced their technology could be. What I was not expecting was this. Like, that's the complete opposite of what the general theme of these events are. Why are we looking up when the issue is always down there? Hello, still. Space Invaders, yeah, it really is. I haven't played the Space Invaders at the arcade game. I have, actually. And I don't like how similar that is. It even looks like the ships that I've shot at before with, like, the sort of prongs at the end of it. For the first time, the Spanish Inquisition was not expecting that. Yeah. They see a school of fins soaring through the sky. What are they? Bionic drones. The islander brought similar creations to land all those years ago. The matrix of drones crosses the sea in the blink of an eye, matching the height of the towering lighthouse. One separates itself from the formation and slowly hovers before the three. Its wings open and close like fins, like a speck of light dancing in the void, and soon, after an amiable and charismatic female voice resounds from it. Oh, there should have been a comma there. It's "and soon after." Oh, damn. Okay, hello. Oh, okay, I was going to speak in Spanish, but then I forgot one of the words, and now I'm just going to be dumb, so I'm not going to do that. People of Iberia, do not be alarmed. Yeah, they really did just give the "be not afraid," didn't they? Aegir greets you. I am Clementia, a technology consul of our Institute of Societal and Administrative Supervision. Jesus, that was a mouthful. Carmen holds his lantern aloft, looking serenely at the drone before him. Two completely different forms of light face each other, as though in a dialogue between two different civilizations, or a confrontation. St. Carmen First Iberia. Yeah, St. Carmen First Iberia, or I'm assuming that's first instead of I, of the Iberian Inquisition. I believe this is the first official communication between our nations. Well, at least for the past however many years it's been. 80 or whatever it was. Indeed. Unless they never actually spoke to each other and it was just the people who came over. You speak our tongue as well as any Iberian. I installed an Iberian language module before leaving the home territories. I hope you'll forgive me if I use the wrong expression. Moreover, forgive me for having to contact you in this form, Sir Iberia. We have no objections to your appearance, Madam Consul. I only regret that it has taken us so long to begin this conversation. John Iberia, yeah. Despite your so-called waterway project being more than half complete and close at hand, we Iberians find ourselves in complete ignorance of it. To make amends, we'd like to invite your envoys to visit our city. Aegir respects the efforts Iberia has made when you were caught up in the seaborn crisis. Caught up in? Do you mean to say that everything Iberia has faced was merely the aftermath of your crisis? I do. Let's not be tied down by formality, sir. We recognize the power of language. You named your... Oh, your name itself, Carmen First Iberia, is a symbol of courage and valor. This is why we came to you. We hope that by reaching an accord with Iberia and the other terrestrial nations, we will be able to create a waterway that links directly to land. We will clear the stretch of the sea between Aegir's home territories and the land, so as to facilitate our forces coming ashore. Yeah, I was about to say, that's, maybe you've been, like, just one nation with no other nations around you for a little bit too long. I hope I need not remind you what sending an army to another nation's border implies on land. Given the enormity of the oncoming threat, we will exhaust every means at our disposal to resist it. I am more than willing to come explain to you in person if necessary, but it would be easier for you to understand the situation if you were to join us in the depths. The fleets of our legions 8 and 10 are patrolling and suppressing the seaborn in these waters. They will soon escort you and to our city of Milarium. I wonder if Aegir is going to have a bit of a Roman vibe to it. Or maybe Greco-Roman. It would kind of make sense because it's sort of Atlantis. Even though Atlantis wouldn't be Greco-Roman, but everyone makes it Greco-Roman. I was about to say Greco-Roman. This drone formation will continue to notify you of any nearby combat or environmental changes until you have safely arrived at the city. There may be an unprecedented disaster brewing beneath the waves. Sir Inquisitor, I worry that though the Earth is vast, it is but an isolated island. Well, it is Pangaea, so it's not kind of true. The lights of the drone matrix cut out, putting a stop to their sudden communication. The sea breeze continues to blow as the old man slowly lowers his lantern. A waterway that links directly to land. She's eloquent, but arrogant, no doubt. A haughty adult wielding a weapon, loath to use finesse when dealing with an unarmed child. Irene, inform our cooperation partners of this most recent communication. Calcit has already agreed to serve as Iberia's envoy. The Abyssal Hunters should also have made their decision by now, considering they've always had reservations about the waterway program. Right away. I'll also keep the other Inquisitors in Grand Pharaoh abreast of the situation. I've made a recording of your entire conversation with Aegir, Maestro. Please, take a look. As for whether you approve of me going... I recall you submitted your application a week ago. Yes. Since the Aegir fleet is on their way now, I was wondering if... Never hesitate when you've already made up your mind. It only makes you look less persuasive. When I was younger, Uncle Fiago was always worrying about me. He'd tell me, Geordie, you should leave Grand Pharaoh, leave Iberia. But he never told me where to go. Aegir was always my homeland under the sea, but I had no way of approaching it. I'd never heard the voice of Aegir, or seen its cities rather. But now it's so close. The Inquisition has approved your application. Geordie oh god, I hate that name. Fontana Rossa, there we go. You will serve as an envoy of Iberia and accompany Irene and Calcit to the Aegir city. Thank you, Maestro. Don't thank me. This isn't a reward. Your work since joining the Inquisition has not been particularly good. I chose Irene because she has already readied herself, even going so far as to renounce her long-standing faith. And I chose you because you are still bewildered and frustrated. Your weakness will consume you. Joining the Inquisition was a test. Returning to your homeland is another. I understand. Oh, you're back. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. This is the deepest part of the trench. They hollowed out its sides to make their nest. That's why we never noticed it before, despite circling this place several times. Yes, I smell it too. This scent. After destroying the ocean's native ecosystem, the seaborn have created a new one that serves only them. I wonder if there's an underwater equivalent of terraforming. I suppose it still is technically terraforming. It's also weird because the seaborn are native to Terra, but at the same time, they're like an invasive species. Since when can Olby speak horse? Maybe it's just like all of those animal shows, you know, like, what's that, Zippy? Boy stuck in the well? A comprehensive seaborn ecosystem, where once it only existed in an oceanic abyss. Return, Rocinante. I will carry on alone. Swaying its neck in annoyance. The entire continental shelf has changed. I must know who churns these waves. Tell the knights to continue the hunt. We will not be parted for long. Oh. Seaborn horse, right? Yes. So both the horse and the knight went through the whole, you know, transforming thing. And I suppose with Ulpianus and the other hunters being sort of like part Seaborn-ish, maybe, kind of. Not entirely sure how they changed them a bit. Maybe they can communicate because of it. Ulpianus swims into the nest. Honestly, at this point, it looks like he's just waltzing in, really. He chooses not to use stealth. Luminescent vegetative seaborn light up every corner of the nest. There is nowhere to hide in the first place. Atop sets of spiraling blades, minute and curiously shaped organisms sleep, or perhaps drift along. The rocks of the seafloor cannot be seen. The fine tendrils of the Neversea brand slowly sway in the current, catching fragments of organic matter. They weave together into thick mats, drowning out any sound Ulpianus makes. He can sense the changes in his own body. His consciousness extends and his body relaxes, as though every cell in his body is trying to respond to something. He is clearly an invader, but the entire lair blooms in response to him. Ulpianus kin. Ulpianus is nearly able to see through the approaching seaborn's translucent body. He waits for it to spit out its clumsy words before... words about praying or being prayed on rather, by him, but nothing comes. The seaborn thinks about its thoughts. Finally, finally, you have travelled far. Here, sufficient nutrients. Shed your cumbersome flesh. Return, grow, migrate. For you, I was born. All pianus. Only for you. I untangle your doubt. I guide you. Return to the embrace of we many. Why did you migrate? Where will you go? You still waver, O pianus. You must know we many, kin. You must know. The Genozoic will soon awaken. The Genozoic must return. A new cycle. Develop the ocean. Leave the ocean. Hello, Raphael. Also, hello, somebody. The Genozoic will awaken and leave the ocean. We many see a new path ahead. We hurry. What connection is there between you and the affairs of the city? Oh. Oh, okay. I guess we'll never know. Alright, here we go. An actual stage. First contact. When they saw it for themselves, they understood that it was just another homeland to somebody, no matter how different it may seem. Okay, it just looks like the usual seaborn maps, kind of like from, what's it called? The IS stages. Yeah, I think no, I'm not gonna have it for it.
Is there really a use for me on the front?
Yes, IS3. I mean, I'm not too worried because it's only level 20. I don't really care about that. I'm just trying to set this up for in general.
Mission time. Let's see. Oh, it's a fight today.
君、人を見る目あるね。私より隊長にふさわしいやつはいないって。
I definitely do get Punishing Grey Raven vibes from the music. I think it's just that mix of sort of like electronic and then like the chorus stuff. Oh, hello. Well, right here. I am literally looking at Rapture. Like at this point, I'm not even kidding. I'm looking at the architecture. Based on geographical conditions, it's a promising volcano, but the location is less than optimal. It would be difficult to establish a lengthy energy transportation pipeline while fending off seaborne attacks. Did you read the Academy of Technology's report? Hydrogen from seawater can be used to maintain operation of the Legion fleet, but it would be difficult to guarantee uninterrupted energy supply to the beacon. It alone accounts for half of the entire city's energy consumption. It used to be much worse. Our ancestors had to design a bioenergy system for it, maintained through the joint effort of a dozen cities. In this day and age, a system like that would be attacked by the seaborn before it could even be activated. Regardless, we need to find a way to ensure power supply to the beacon. Maybe Appius would know a way. Let me get in... Oh! Did you forget? He's still in the home territories and our cities are under radio silence. We can't exactly lay fibre optic cables like we used to, either. And what with all the seaborn out there. Okay, so they have some intercity communication then. I guess their intercity communication would be easier, or at least it was until this. I miss the days when we could get anyone in the country on a holographic call whenever we wanted. Now you know how it feels to be up on the surface. Wait. What if we modify the output modes of the energy converter? Okay, now you're just talking Star Trek. Yes, they actually have internet. That's probably... Or at least they had internet. Also, it looks like I was somewhat right about the the Greco-Roman sort of thing. We have extremely limited experience in this area. There's always a safety risk. With you in charge of the cognitive link, I believe the risk is reasonable. Well, I'm glad you're that confident in me, but I'm not. Who knows what an extended conversation via cognitive link with our transformed countrymen would do to both our minds. There's been plenty of research into this. We'll be good as long as you keep a steady head. Even in the home territories, there are very few cases of transformed citizens being granted a final interview. Most are simply euthanized. Consul Clementia's ideas are radical as always, which is exactly why I followed her here. By sorting through the threads of reason via conversation, we can grant them a chance to leave a final trace of their sapience in the world. And what better way to send them off than with a stimulating debate? Sadly, most of the survivors of the Sea Patrol bring back are already transformed beyond recognition. Precious few have the opportunity to return to the city to receive a final interview. Say, we're witnessing history unfold here, aren't we? Or maybe we're just doing our jobs. I trust that the Institute of Development Planning's faith in you is not misplaced. Make your preparations. Thanks. See you in the isolation chamber. Excuse me. Oh. What the... A catastrophe? Under the sea? Taken by surprise, a young man loses his balance and falls, but an even stranger sight stifles his cry of surprise. He sees a passerby float into the air, swimming through its like fins through water, paying little heed to the swaying city below. As things return to normal, some land and walk away, continuing their conversation like nothing had happened, while others continue to swim forward through the air. He recalls the rituals the people of Grand Pharaoh had told him about when he was little. Get up, Geordie. Right. Doña Irene? Next time you go out, remember to put on the device that the Sea Patrol gave us when we landed yesterday. Right, I remember that from the briefing videos. Which one was it again? The fourth one. The technicians at the port reminded me. They make regular adjustments to the gravity settings as part of what it takes to maintain the low gravity environment of Malarium. They said it's like a fin adjusting its swim bladder. So you went to tour the port? Yes, I was interested in the ships and docks there. Oh, the ships and docks. Their weapons, those massive ships that sail like foul beasts through the reefs and cliffs. I saw traces of the Stortifero Navis in them. Oh yeah, Brogan really did recreate a gear technology in Iberia, perhaps. Oh, sorry, that was not a comma. Perhaps we should have sailed our proud armada out into the vast oceans rather than parading our gold-gilded ships along the coast as a deterrent to those dukes and pashas. Brogan, you look nervous, Geordie. So nervous that you missed the point entirely. I'm just feeling a little out of place. This place is stranger than I imagined. The air is thick and heavy. The ocean above my head sends a chill up my spine, and the glowing plants around the streets make me dizzy. Plus, what happened just now? Physical discomfort I could deal with, but there are so many oddities here that I can't even begin to understand yet. The briefing videos the gear provided were very detailed, but there's still so much that I couldn't comprehend, even after rewatching them so many times. Food moves on its own without a fork. Clothes clean themselves without having to be removed. These things make sense, kind of. But edible sagas? Crunchy theorems? I just can't wrap my head around those. The best I can do now is print out some of those emergency nutrition supply devices. All my life I've known nothing about but Grand Pharaoh. Is this what it's like to... No, it's not quite like an Iberian from a backwater village seeing the capital for the first time. Not that a city of gold still exists. Not that a city of gold still exists. The difference here isn't one between a small town and a metropolis, but almost between two entirely different civilizations. Well, I mean, it is, really. I tried to ask someone for directions, but I couldn't understand what they were saying, or whether I was being rude to interrupt. I don't even know if they see me... Oh, I don't even know how they see me, and the gear in name only. I have my concerns too. You're worried too? You of all people know what Iberia did to the Aegir after the Profound Silence. Don't know what kind of country Aegir is, how its people view that period of bloodshed, or how they view me, an emissary with blood on her hands. But you didn't... I'm here representing the Iberian Inquisition. I've seen the files on the slaughters. Each report on its own may be thin, but in aggregate, we committed many injustices while cleansing the influence of the Church of the Deep, and the islanders were the most affected. I still believe the Inquisition was in no position to be lenient, not when the country itself teetered on the brink. It was our collective decision that we should go to any lengths to ensure the nation's survival in a time of extraordinary crisis, but that does not lessen our crime. I definitely do like the uniform. I don't know, it just makes him look really cute. I think it's just because of how big the uniform looks on him, it makes him look small. Oh, hello. I don't believe you need to worry about that. Oh, hello. Growing a massive A vessel? Oh, vesicle. I don't know that. I don't know that word. To resist a blast from Class 3 weaponry and covering the retreat of the other seaborn into the depths of the trench. How is it even possible for biological tissue to be made to resist the forces of micro-singularity? That's a cool weapon. The Sea Patrol brought back tissue samples. They've already been sent to your lab through the transport tubes. He definitely does kind of look like a villain, to be honest. But I feel like something here is going to be dodgy. Looks like a fancy nail gun. It does kind of, yeah. I think I've seen a weapon similar to that before in one sci-fi show, but I can't think of where. At least they haven't yet developed a collective resistance to Class 3 weaponry like they have for Classes 1 and 2. The performance of Class 3 weaponry is demonstrably superior. But even more concerning is that an individual seaborn has evolved measures specifically to counter it. They're more organised than before. You've been analysing the seaborn's adaptation to various weaponry ever since Milarium set sail. Did you already foresee this? Advisor Blandus? To an extent, but we need more time to confirm our theories. Thank you, Segunda. Second? Your reports are always so detailed, I dare not blink for fear of missing something. Little Handy. Get me some eye drops. Eh? Ignore that command, Little Handy. Just a bad joke. If there's nothing else, I'll be going. I need to speak to the technicians about the damage suffered by our ships. I want to see what the ships look like. I'd rather you stay just a while longer, unless you're hurrying to get some rest after work. Isn't it somewhat ironic, considering you also received numerous health warnings, but haven't seen a doctor yet? Very well. Still, I'd appreciate it if you could hear me out. It won't take long, I just need to confirm something. Have you read Gladier's report? I have. Then you should know about Ulpianos. I thought you'd at least show some sort of reaction. Of course I'm concerned about the reappearance of the Abyssal Hunters after 5 years of silence, especially when the Waterway program is at a key juncture. Ah, right. Okay. And Ulpianos' unusual activities are of particular note. He clearly made contact with Gladier's group and is aware of Milarium, but has made no attempt to re-establish communications with Aegir. Meanwhile, we've heard from our Iberian sources that he's also declined to work with Iberia. He may be proud, arrogant even, but he is no fool. He must have his reasons for acting alone. Regardless, I intend to find out where he is and what he's planning. That utilitarianism is that impatience. He's rubbed off on you. We had hoped you'd be better than that. I can only pray your decision-making will be more prudent than while tracking him. There we go. Segunda is our welfare operator for this event. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I thought they looked familiar. Nevertheless, I have faith that you'll keep me updated on his whereabouts. What are you talking about, Advisor Blandus? Neither of us are part of the Abyssal Hunter program anymore. You're the weapons technology advisor for the Waterway program now. Aren't Utilitarian, impatient decisions, the usual business in your field. And shouldn't you be getting information about Olympianus from Malarium's official sources? Why involve me? Of course, of course. Just a momentary lapse in judgment. I can't fault you for carrying out your duty as Prefector of the Sea Patrol. I just ask that you remember what Olympianus did for us for a year. Yes, speaking. What? Missing? I'm on my way. Who's missing? One of the technicians on the waterway program has gone AWOL. Oh. Oh, back to Rapture. And you are... Avitus, from the Institute of Prehistoric Studies, Academy of Science. We study the documents and artifacts of prehistoric civilization. Oh? I wonder if that means, you know. Irene, emissary of the Iberian Inquisition. Jordi Fontana Rosa. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. And don't worry, I didn't come to lecture you. I simply felt it was my duty as a citizen of a year to free our land-bound friends from their needless concerns. Needless concerns? What I mean to say is, Aegir understands that Iberia took measures proportionate to the extraordinary nature of the times. We can find similar periods in our own history, or even that of our glorious prehistoric civilization. I wonder how close Aegir is to the old civilization. Because when you think about it, hiding underwater is certainly one way of staving off the apocalypse. And I would definitely say they are more advanced than Terra, because, you know, we're talking about micro-singularities. They're basically using small black holes as weapons. So that doesn't really make them too far off of what the previous civilization would have been like. How much do you know of IS3 then? I think I've done half of the... half or like 2/3 of the endings. Or like 3/4, however many. Basically, I think I've done either half or nearly finished it. The exclusion of outsiders as a necessary means of maintaining social order appears to be an inevitable step in the progress of civilization. Oh. Besides, we welcome our displaced countrymen to return to the sea, just as we respect the decision of those who have opted to leave. The consequences of their choice belong only to them. I appreciate Aegir's magnanimity, God, I hate that, Avitus, but the consequences they suffered were... No, it's nothing. Thank you for clarifying. You're welcome. Oh. Mr. Avitus, our land-bound guests, please be informed that this area has been designated for an investigation. You are advised to proceed to another area unless you have unresolved matters here. Hand of the Saint. The penal battalion used them to clean up seaborn remains, but I never knew they could talk. Apparently our people who brought them to land did not have the time to demonstrate their full capabilities. A multi-purpose support equipment, commonly known as Little Handy. That, honestly, that's a bit of a dodgy name, let's be completely honest here. They currently offer 972 different function modules, excluding obsolete ones. One can sometimes tell their affiliation just by looking at the parts and paint job. This one, for example, belongs to the Sea Patrol. Should I reply? We're very sorry, little handy, sir. That would be unnecessary. It may be equipped with a voice, but that doesn't mean it's intelligent. Just imagine the robot just looks over and it's like, who are you calling unintelligent, miss? It's like, oh, doesn't want a little handy. Oh god, stop. That's literally what it sounds like, though. Let's be real with ourselves here. I assumed that with your technology, maybe... It's true that the topic of simulated personalities has fascinated many a researcher. The first attempt was created 230 years ago and continues to operate to this day. In fact, I can put in an application for you if you wish to talk to it. Yes, please. However, whether from the perspective of neuroscience, psychology, sociology, or anthropology, simulated personalities have proven to be rather disappointing in terms of their benefits to research. Well, I mean, I imagine it'd be about only as useful as a person, if you're making them as human-like as possible, I guess. Perhaps I've gone off topic, though. In short, they've remained the stuff of niche research, and we do not consider them suitable for widespread application. The goal of all technological development is to empower humanity. What purpose is there in turning a machine into a human? Maybe someone should be tailing this to all those AI nerds at the moment. I see. Fascinating. You said this little handy belonged to the Sea Patrol. Only they would fit such powerful loudspeakers onto one, when quieter means of communication are available. I suppose you could consider it retro? What sort of organisation are they? Do they frequently undertake such investigations? Tesla's still working on the Catgirl-made robots. I mean, that's like two different things that you've just sort of merged into one, but I think he's working on both still. The Sea Patrol is part of our legions. They perform a supporting role in combat, as well as regular reconnaissance, patrol, security, and disaster response duties. So they're police. Or like National Guard, maybe. Emergency sweeps like this are rare, but with the waterway program at such a critical moment, it's only reasonable for them to be on high alert. Little Handy, am I allowed to remain here? It is not recommended, but not forbidden. Then I'll wait here. I'd like a chance to speak to the Sea Patrol. Very well. And you, Geordie? I'll be going. Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Of course not. There's a limit to what I can answer outside my speciality, though. Perhaps I could show you to a place better suited for such a conversation? A what now? A Thothon Theatrum? I'm gonna start losing my shit with all this Latin, Pig Latin, whatever it is. God, it really is rapture with the designs. Did you sleep well, Doctor? You seem a little haggard. It's the air pressure and humidity. Yes, the Aegir seem to have retained some of their aquatic traits. Are you not feeling well? Just a little short breath. Is it serious? Don't worry, it's nothing. Let me know if you feel any discomfort. Besides, to be frank, I thought there may be another reason for your reaction. Does anything about Aegir or the depths of the ocean seem familiar to you? Maybe, but only vaguely. Okay, so either we went to Aegir when we were traveling Terra, or there is something related to the previous civilization underwater, like maybe, you know, establishing colony or something before everything went to shit. I know it might be difficult, but remembering even the slightest detail could be of great help to us all. Sorry, I can't remember anything else. It's okay, just try to relax, Doctor. Seeing the Preserver has inevitably hastened the pace at which you recall the truth, even though I had hoped you would not touch upon what you'd forgotten so quickly. No one knows when your path of suffering will end, not even yourself. In that, we are all powerless. What we do know is that you've had an encounter with the Abyss. The ocean is yet another path to your past, and we are finally upon it. Do I detect satisfaction? Yes, I've wanted to set foot in Aegir countless times. That wasn't what we meant. Until now, I've waited on the shore and drifted on the waves. I've witnessed lighthouses and the Armada turn from ideas to reality. Ryogen had never given up on re-establishing communication with Aegir through such means. But all his efforts ended in failure. Aegir never welcomed home their prodigal son, much less opened the doors to outsiders. But now, they're even more eager to cooperate than I had anticipated. We need no longer waste efforts to persuade a proud and aloof giant. I can't deny feeling happy about that. Can you see the joy and excitement on her face? Like it's just overflowing. It's making me smile. Okay, to be fair, at least it's been called out. Is there something else troubling you? I'm afraid there is. Aegir's proactive stance indicates that they have a plan for making contact with the land, but even the most moderate of their measures may seem too radical for land-bound civilization. A single gesture of goodwill could cause a massive storm. Doesn't tell her face. We should intervene as soon as possible. The Abyssal Hunters are a good entry point. The Hunters' situation warrants concern, too. To Aegir, they are neither emissaries nor guests. Having participated in the most radical project in Aegir's history, and come back to life after being declared dead for 5 years, I worry that their return would only cause... Oh, speak of the devils. I guess speak of the half-seaborn in this case. Trouble? Controversy? Scatty, Spectre, you're back. Expressing emotions is what Monster is for. To be fair, yes, he has shown more emotion in her stead than she has when doing these things. Where's Gladia? A somewhat troublesome fellow called her away. I thought your priority upon returning would be to get checked up. What could possibly be more urgent? No idea. But once Gladia's done with her interview, I guess Gladia and I are gonna go do some stupid checkup. Swordfish and I are fine. Shark's changes might be a little problematic. Oh, does Aegir understand oropathy? I read some medical papers before I underwent the surgery. Even back then, they had advanced knowledge of medulla regeneration and replacement. They should be able to help her. You needn't worry, Doctor. I've inspected myself in the mirror on that great ship. On returning, those endless dreams still creep up on me like bubbles, but they've also become as light as bubbles. Besides, I feel like I have more regrets about losing those dreams. But for now, I'm as lucid as I've ever been, and luckily for you, I'm even in the mood to take you on a tour of the city. Interested? Yeah! Oh god, where have you taken me? Want to have the tour of the city? Yes, takes me to Fight Club.
You people, I don't think I'll even remember your faces after this one.
Oh my god, it's an anglerfish.
Anyway, let's just get started.
Under the sea, under the sea. Yeah, might as well.
Forwards.
皆さん、感染源と思われるものには絶対に触らないようにしてくださいね。
I do really like the music in this one. Oh, I forgot to change Chen out. Oh wait, that's just like a single cell? Jeez. Why? Is there literally like nothing else coming or something?
君たちのために
Oh, I see.
地獄の一等地に部屋を用意しておいたから安心して行ってらっしゃい。
I'll do my best.
Oh, it always makes me laugh how quick they die when she uses that skill.
Just try me.
Okay, so there was literally no point for Korra being down there. Ugh. Did you think we were touring a museum? You were looking at the instruments like they were exhibits. Oh. It's a third place I mistook for a museum then. Why is gravity reversed in there? Oh god. What's with the water flowing around the pillars? What's that space that warped my fingers? Oh god. Ugh. There are some things even I can't explain. Technology has advanced a lot in 5 years. Wait, that tower. There's a launch pad at the heart of the city. Good eye, Doctor. That's a beacon launcher. One with plenty of history. You know about it, Shark? My parents took me around the home territories when I was little. There are similar structures in many cities. I thought Uge children were raised collectively. I was, but Shark has a special relationship with her biological parents. Oh? They were more like friends than parents. They reached a consensus with the Institute of Incubation to bring me along whenever they worked on a new dome project. I spent most of my time in the Institute of Incubation, but I was able to see the cities and learn and even work alongside them. So, what's this beacon launcher for? I swear, if you just say to launch beacons... Exactly what it sounds like. It launches beacons to mark the waterway. How big is this waterway anyway? A gearhead almost mastered the oceans about 300 years ago, efficiently using natural energy in its various forms and recording every seafloor trench in our navigational charts. Then we cast our sights on another ocean, one brimming with stars. Our fleets and even our cities were meant to cross that boundary that should never have existed, and light the fires of civilization beyond the barrier. Wow, beyond the barrier. The Preserver was right, Doctor. Christian's achievement is not beyond a gear's reach. The sea and the sky are closer than we thought. I wonder if that's the reason why the Seaborn was also wanting to do it. Because assumably they've been... I assume they've been, you know, assimilating Igerians, so it would make sense they sort of end up gamming to similar desires. Almost in a sort of mimicry. Thank you. People back then tried plenty of things, surveying and deciphering the electron clouds, developing new technologies and materials, exploring forms of life that can adapt to space. This beacon launcher is a product of that era. It was intended to capture the faintest signals from the stars and plant beacons that would never fade from our star charts. Nanomachine swarms, nanomachines, son, would form networks between the beacons, allowing us to traverse vast distances in an instant. Or so we dreamed. You told me... You never told me any of this before. Lucid moments were hard to come by on land. But yesterday I dreamt once again of walking from the Sophon Theatrum. Jesus, I hate that. Straight into that epoch. Then I saw Laurentina dance. She leaped from the waves to the stars, stirring up stardust that trailed in the hems of her dress. From afar, the voice of the master of all creation answered her in song, rather. The universe and imagination know no bounds, and Laurentina's dances will never cease. Spectre closes her eyes, as though sinking back into the dream. What is it? Just trying to picture it. Perhaps that day will really come, Laurentina. Master of all creation. Before pushing the open door to the stars, they wanted to prepare themselves for any threats beyond the barrier. That is, until the Seaborn appeared and interrupted their dreams. We poured all our efforts into studying them, setting aside all else. Art, science, and previous visions of the future. The Seaborn fundamentally changed a gear. What did you do before becoming a hunter? Oh god, I want to ask both of them. Spectre. I was just an apprentice sculptor. Oh, wow. The Institute of Development Planning provides tailored career proposals for each citizen, which are usually in line with our wishes. I suppose I would have gone into dome design, sculpting, or dance. Say, Calcit and Doctor, we've shared a lot of info during our time, but we've never talked about our old lives. Because they've changed? I guess you're right. Sorry for bringing up something so heavy on a tour. Yadi's answer that she was basically an electrician fixing lights in the city, if I remember correctly. Ah, okay. We have all waves in the world hanging above our heads. Would you care to share a dance before dealing with all this bother, Doctor? Yeah, I'm down. I don't know how to dance, but yeah. Okay. Gladia. Gladia's hand instinctively goes to her weapon as the woman approaches with a ceremonial sword in hand. But all she does is put her arms around Gladia's shoulders. Gladia smells stimulants in the air. When you say she smells stimulants in the air, are you essentially saying she smells ketamine or something? And here's suplex incoming. Actually, wait, no. Ketamine isn't a stimulant, it's a depressant. Meth. There we go. Agir do not make a habit of greeting each other with physical contact. She could not remember even her mother doing so. But this woman's actions felt completely natural. Consul Clementia? I was not aware that this was the standard salute between chief designers of warfare. Nothing makes me happier than seeing the hunters return as lucid as ever. Your soldiers' reactions when they first saw me suggest otherwise. The operation to eliminate the Firstborn cost Agir all of its abyssal hunters. Segunda made many rescue attempts, but was unable to penetrate the rampaging mass of seaborn that guard the region underneath after the death of the Firstborn. What? I'm sorry, I'm just reading the question in chat. It just caught me off guard a little bit. Why is that so funny to me? Do you know how the cock... The answer though is no. I mean, I would be able to do it if I had the equipment, but I would have to, like, have a step-by-step in order to do it. I don't know why that made me funny. Do you know how the cock can mean? I've slept for like 4 hours, that's fair. Sorry. Okay. Your mother, Horatia, had no choice but to publicly declare you dead. But I know her. She doesn't really believe that. Or perhaps Consul Horatia, foremost of the Institute of Scientific Development Planning, simply could not accept that I had died for nothing. Also, hello, Merwind. I know her too. But I don't think it is appropriate for a meeting between two chief designers of warfare to revolve around a complicated mother-daughter relationship. Of course, of course. Look at the city. The consul's Pensivarium sits high in the city. The seawater hangs just above their heads. I find it funny that this has more Latin terms than the actual Latin sort of city in, you know, in Latin place. I've forgotten the name of it now. Laterano. There we go. But I suppose it's also a mix of Greco-Roman anyway, because I think some of these are like the Roman translations of the Greek terms, if I remember correctly, because they sort of did that. Looks like Gotham City meets Bioshock. It does a little bit, yeah. Although I suppose that's because Gotham City has the same sort of architecture that was used in Bioshock. I forgot what it's called. I mean, it is inspired by like Greco-Roman, but then like ported into 1930s. So it's sort of like, you know, with iron and steel instead of marble. There is definitely a term for it, but I've forgotten what it's called. I think it's like one of those all like Neo type things, like Neo something or whatever. The transparent dome serves as a gentle mirror, warding off the deep and foreboding void while granting the Aegir the solace of introspection. That's right, I think it's either Art Deco or Art Nouveau. It's not, I just said that completely wrong. It's like Nouveau or something. I think those are the ones that have that Greek inspiration. One of the two does. Beneath the dome, the entire city is bathed in a blue hue. The beacon launch pad stands tall at its center, while ships glide in and out of the distant docks like schools of fins. The sea itself has no colour, only darkness. Malarium stands in its murky depths like the vigilant eye of civilization, solitary and luminous. I keep wanting to say Militarum, you know, like Warhammer. We once had many such cities. One by one, the stars in the sea went out, becoming sustenance for the seaborn. All that is left on the sea floor are their colourful, eerie nests. I won't deny that the Abyssal Hunter project was a failed gambit. The death of the firstborn did not stop their evolution. So I want to know what solution Aegir has come up with next. What you have come up with. What is this waterway program? Gladia, I didn't mean... I'm simply part of an even bigger gambit. One with even higher stakes. The weapon classification scheme remains nothing more than a strict control over weapon usage to delay the evolution of the seaborn. Oh, that exists in something else, doesn't it? Oh, what is it? Is it, Is it Stargate with the replicators where they can't use more advanced stuff because they'll just replicate it? And I think also Goblin Slayer, although I haven't watched that show, but if I remember correctly, they refrain from using their more advanced stuff because the goblins can just sort of replicate it after a while. This time, however, we have taken into account every weapon at our disposal or under development. A mix of conventional ballistics and Class 1 weapons initially proved highly effective. The Seaborn were unable to comprehend why they were being burned by the seawater around them. Oh, yeah, the Borgs as well, that was true. Oh, so the goblins just stole it. Oh, okay. For some reason I thought they were like able to then build and use it and stuff like that afterwards. But like I said, I never watched it, so I just listened to what other people said. Hello, Azur. Yeah, it has been a while. But it took them only a year to adapt. 11 months in, we accelerated the adoption of Class 2 weapons, which operated on completely different principles, etc., etc., until their evolution outpaced the ability of the Academy of Technology to innovate. Yes, at day's end, all we're doing is merely buying time. Agir has committed vast resources to study the Seaborn, to eradicate them at their origin. We must first comprehend them at their source. The information you've brought back is highly valuable, and Briogan's discovery on land corroborates the Academy of Sciences research. The Seaborn and the Farenmuts share the same genesis. Oh, okay. So I guess that technically means the Seaborn, or like the first Seaborn, would have been a Farenmut. Maybe. But also then, didn't the Farenmuts come from like the previous civilization, if I remember correctly? Or like descended from something that descended from something, etc., etc.? Is Agir coming ashore to seek memories even more ancient? Not just that, the Seaborn share a common genesis with the Farenmuts, but much about them is very different, unnatural one might say. Their recent activity demonstrates a clear sense of purpose. They have quickly abandoned their reliance on the sea and begun to migrate towards land en masse. Left unchecked, it is not out of the question that all of Terra could become infested with Seaborn. We already saw hints of that in Iberia. Thus, for Agir, the land is both a source of answers and a solemn responsibility. Horatia. Is it Horatia? I'm guessing it's Horatia because the normal one where with the O is Horatio, so I'm assuming it's Horatia. Horatia has issued new war orders on behalf of the Institute of Development Planning, and Malarium has come bearing new Class 4 weapons from the Academy of Technology. Wait, so if Class 3 was literally like micro black holes, what the fuck is Class 4 going to be? Because, like, by our understanding, the ability to use, manipulate, and, well, use micro-singularities would make us like a Class 3 civilization. Oh, I guess it's going to ask you anyway. They are a form of biological weapon, very different from previous ones, designed to induce death in nearby seaborn nests and newborns, while driving away adults from the area. Now that seems boring compared to micro black holes. We have successfully located most of the nests in the target region. Also, wouldn't they be able to adapt to that faster than micro-singularities? The ones near Iberia are the only ones yet unmarked. Once the beacons have been placed and the weapon is activated, we will finally have cleared an entire region of Seaborn and established a route back to Agir's home territories. I mean, what they would have to do is, I guess if they're waiting, what they would have to do is do it pretty much all at once. But then if they're only going to do like one area, that, I don't know, it still feels like they would have the chance to adapt to it before they're able to do it elsewhere. You would kind of need to like do it everywhere and then activate it all at once, but that would be very difficult, and surely the seaborn would catch onto it and start destroying beacons and such. Consul Horatia would not have permitted the possibility of failure, yet all I see is a city under siege, teetering on the brink. Yes, she did tell me herself that the waterway program will not fail. I do not know how many other possibilities she considered, and I hope I never do. For me, this city has always been the entirety of the waterway program. But that is no longer true. So Exterminatus, yes, exactly. The changes in the past month necessitate a review of our plans. The Seaborn have rapidly adapted to our new weapons, even evolving measures to protect their kindred from Class 3. But a successful extermination operation should have left no opportunity for them to communicate with other individuals. They seem to have obtained their inspiration elsewhere. Almost every mutation of the Seaborn against humanity has been abetted by the twisted efforts of corrupted Agir. Yet, the Seaborn lack true intelligence. We could toss all our prototype weapons into their nests and they wouldn't dismantle or study them. The Church of the Deep may be able to train them to attack an army or a city, but bringing about rapid biological changes is another matter entirely. Unless they're not being influenced by the Church of the Deep, but by another firstborn. I see you've read my belated report. Indeed, Orpianus claims that the one we eliminated was not the only one. Ah, yes, the firstborn were twins. The Abyssal Hunters were the first and last Agir to enter the Firstborn's lair. Even now, the Seaborn defend the ruins with a frenzied fury. We have not found a way to get through. Amongst the Hunters, Ulpianus spent the longest time there, enough for him to witness the truth. You're still deliberating on whether to believe him. Yes. It could be the key to solving the mystery of the Seaborn, or the path that leads to us to destruction. Could a hunter survive for months on Seaborn remains and remain lucid? Would a lucid hunter willingly stay with them, rather than returning to civilization? There are too many unanswered questions about Ulpianus and that fateful operation. And so, I regret to inform you that Agir has no choice but to welcome its hunters home with a tribunal. Yep, there it is. They really wanted to keep with the fish, didn't they? It was like... What should our uniform look like? Well, do you know Undyne from Undertale? They know more. Do Seaborn taste like sushi? I would imagine so. People seem to eat them, so they must have some taste to them. I thought we had designated this area for investigation. Madame Irene from Iberia? May I ask who I am speaking? Secunda, Prefector of the Sea Patrol. I regret not being able to greet you personally upon your arrival yesterday. The Sea Patrol is currently investigating the disappearance of a citizen. We have not requested assistance from Iberia and respectfully request that you exit this area as soon as possible. I would like to assist as myself, not as an envoy. Your offer is appreciated but unnecessary. I want any news from the other teams. One moment, getting the video feed now. Ma'am. No unusual movement at the port. Alert the other teams to monitor the close the closed civilian gates and keep a close watch on the circulation system around town. Roger. You're okay with talking about this in front of me? This is part of our regular duties. There's no need for confidentiality. But you had your little handies clear the place out. Only to prevent unnecessary harm to civilians. If you insist on staying, you'll be responsible for your own safety. The missing civilian is Tulia, a scientist from the Waterway program, responsible for recording and calibrating data on seaborn nests. She went AWOL 30 hours ago and hasn't been seen since. Could it be the Church of the Deep? That's what we intend to find out. Her disappearance has not affected the overall progress of the project. As important as recording and calibrating the nest data is, her role was by no means irreplaceable. If the Church's goal was to assassinate someone to disrupt our plans, they would not have picked an ordinary data scientist. Unless she learned something she wasn't supposed to. I need to inspect her home. I mean, look, there's no point telling all of this to someone and then not expecting them to follow you. You have to pick one or the other. You either don't tell them anything and just tell them to go home or hotel or whatever, or you tell them whatever it is and then they follow you. There is no in between here. You're sharp, Madame Irene, but I would recommend against coming with us. I'm simply investigating our common enemy in my own way. Suit yourself. And thus we now have the Arknights version of the hit Scandinavian TV show The Bridge. Or, what's it called? Bronbroen? Something like that. I suppose there was also the English-French version called The Tunnel,
Let's
but
grab a nice dinner after
that
we
one
clean up
wasn't
the
as good.
My treat.
So much for this as being a shorter one. That was fucking... Okay. Okay, so now we're going to see what the gimmick is. Beacon deployment drill. Learn how the seaborn form carapaces and how to operate beacons. Excrescent carapace. Deployable for high ground operators. Okay. Must be charged by a high ground operator. Allows your units to deal burn damage when activated. But I thought they got used to that. Yo, guess what? What?
Got it.
Why can't everyone try to get along?
Freeze!
Nope. My account turned 2 years old yesterday. Oh, nice. Congratulations. So many sea monsters, it's impossible to deal with them all at once. I'll come help. No, wait, there's nowhere for me to stand. Doritos.
Down you go!
Oh. Damn, okay, so we don't place them. That's going to be a little bit annoying. Pay attention to the battlefield when that seaborn died. Its carapace yeah, carapace proliferated into the tile it was on, and now its kin should be avoiding that path. The excrescent carapace occupying the tile can serve as a high ground platform for ranged operators. Crews get on there and remain on standby.
I'm listening.
Freeze!
You decide where to place them by choosing on which platform, or on which tile to kill the enemy. Well, yes, but I just want them dead as soon as possible. That's kind of the issue. I think that seaborn is one that can withstand microsingularity. Yeah, probably. Oh no, those eggs are back. Another sea monster swarm. Make sure to use our waterway beacons. Allied units deployed on high ground tiles adjacent to a waterway beacon can charge it. The more operators surrounding the beacon, the faster it can charge up. But there aren't any high ground tiles around this beacon. Well, there will be.
There you are.
The seaborn's carapace proliferation on death, as we did earlier to create extra carapaces, use rather, for our high ground operators to deploy on.
There you are.
You know, when I think about it, it's kind of like, is it Evolution, the
There we go.
movie slash TV show?
Ready to heal.
Also, are they going to attack this platform though? Because there's nowhere for these ones to go now. Once the waterway beacon is fully charged, it slows down the movement speed of all enemies within range, and our operators now deal burn damage. Yeah, we read a bit. Now use the waterway beacon to wipe out the rest of the seaborn.
Take aim.
They can, but not in this. Fair.
Here I am.
They will attack the platform if it blocks all possible movement paths. Okay. Damn, it's nice seeing the enemies have that.
Take aim. Don't be afraid.
Oh, I can't click on it now.
Awaiting your orders.
Bruce unlocked fire arrows, yeah.
There you are.
Okay.
I was very impressed by everyone's performance. It was fantastic.
Tribunal welcome. People look for the familiar in those whom they have not seen for a while, forgetting the existence of time. That's not too bad.
Great. I'm good at supporting assaults.
Any good pulls? Haven't really, no. No one has been in here the whole time. Affirmative. No signs of that the Little Handy's logs have been altered either. Who did you use the 6-star selector for? Oh god, I can't remember now. Oh, because I think I had most of the 6 stars that... Yeah, I think I had most of the 6 stars that were there. Not, I really can't remember now. It was... I don't think it was Saria. Oh, I can't remember which one I chose. I'll have to check in a bit. You can sort by acquired, yeah. Excuse me, how do I view those records? Grant her the permissions. Yes, ma'am. Ah, very nice. Segunda takes a device from her belt and dances her pen across its surface, leaving trails like a labyrinth of seaweeds. What's your prefecta doing? She scribbles whenever she's thinking. It says it helps her organize her thoughts. It's a habit she's had since she was a researcher. No one can decipher what it is writing or drawing. Not even that's clear. She's the only one who can pass it. Books are arranged by thickness, shell decorations by size, and data downloaded from the Siphon Theatrum by time. Okay, so this person is a little bit OCD. Seaweed cream to prevent dry skin. Is it because malarium is approaching the coast? There's enough to last 3 years. An ordinary gearwoman, cautious, timid even, matches the data from the Institute of Development Planning. Those hydroponic tanks. What are these boxes for? Why put them on the wall if they're empty? Yes, the hydroponics may provide a lead. Scan all equipment in the room related to plant cultivation. Yes, ma'am. Also, pull whatever you can from Tulia's files. Education, employment, hobbies, anything that might be relevant. She previously worked at the Institute of Ecological Art, with a focus on cultivation and endangered seaweed. To quote straight from the IEA's files, the artist has carefully cultivated these deep-sea seaweeds to weave a dynamic, ever-evolving portrait of life as they grow. These hydroponic boxes were Tulia's belongings. Images of her artwork are also available. How beautiful. They look like they've been left empty for quite some time. According to the files, she joined the waterway program after reassignment. She wouldn't have abandoned her old life for no reason. True, her disappearance may very well be related to her career change. Living art does sound cool, not going to lie. Yeah, I mean, it's been a thing for quite a long time. I mean, I don't know to, like, this extent, but, like, you know, gardens and stuff like that have always had quite a strong element of artwork. They also do, like, the sides of buildings. They sort of have, like, horizontal gardens, horizontal farms. Vertical gardens and farms are horizontal by default. Vertical gardens or farms. Not gonna lie, hearing seaweed makes me hungry. True! I really like to get this, like, fried seaweed from, the Chinese restaurant near where I live. It's really nice. How's that scan coming? Nothing unusual with the cultivation equipment, but we found an operating log in the integrated terminal. 2 days before she went missing, she downloaded some data from the beacon tower control center and made a backup. We were unable to locate the file itself, though. Try to backtrack her steps. Contact the control center and trace the data from their download logs. Why do I keep reading it as in like their location? Not there. There. That was weird. If she was still going to work before she disappeared, couldn't her friends or colleagues know something? Perhaps. What's the situation on her social relationships? What about the person who made the report? We've arranged the questioning. It's a Colosseum. Well, I suppose it was called a theatrum, so I guess that is kind of technically accurate. Anything I can help you with, Geordie? Sorry, I have so many questions, I don't know where to start. This, metal tree? Do I just ask it? I've heard legends of ancient trees acting as repositories of knowledge, but I've never seen anything like this. This coral-shaped integrated terminal is the culmination of centuries of Aegir's knowledge and culture. Everything we think, know, create, appreciate, and even the questions we have yet to answer, they're all here. It's the heart of the Sophon Theatrum. 42. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did like make some sort of reference to it. That would be funny. And what is the Sophon Theatrum exactly? Conceived by and established by Martus, the great scholar of anthropology and prehistoric civilization, it is a public facility that has a profound impact on the nation. Aside from the mutually supporting atoll city clusters above the sea level, and the modular city networks in the trenches, most of our other cities have unique forms and designs. Yet even so, nearly all of them have chosen to adopt Martus's design and establish their own Sophon Theatrum. Look around you, this place for the people to think, doubt and debate, eventually coming to an understanding and making a decision. A Colosseum of wits. I mentioned that, if you will. The most complex equations, the most ancient drawings, the most beautiful songs, and the most well-travelled roads are all born here. I believe this is exactly what Martus himself wanted. You keep mentioning this Martus. What kind of man was he? Simply listing all his contributions to Aegir would take an entire day, perhaps more. But I do happen to have some insight into his personality. Oh, you knew him? No, he lived more than 2 centuries ago. He'd gone from Aegir long before I was born. But our professors like to speak of his eccentricities. Oh god. He was unmatched in theatrical and deductive reasoning, yet was always reluctant to draw a conclusion. Even on issues where the answer was plain to all, he would refuse to put the question to rest until after an extended debate with himself. Some would say that trapping himself in endless debate showed he cared too much about the value and meaning of things. But is that not in our human nature? Which is why he built the Sophon Theatrum. We need a place where we could engage in intellectual discourse with ourselves and with others. I feel like every event has one place or item that is just difficult for me to pronounce. I wouldn't say I'm up for a debate, but I do have a lot of questions. Should I ask you, myself, or this terminal? It seems our little discussion must give way to a greater showdown. What do you mean? They're holding a tribunal, and it concerns three of those you arrived with. Billingstrom was fine with me. Oh yeah, of course it would be. Shouldn't Iberia Victoria be easy for you? Iberia is. However, this isn't. But this isn't Iberia, so that doesn't count. Victoria is fine because it's just English. I think there was one that was difficult. But I can't remember what it was. I think it was Ashtalig or whatever it was called, the place in Londinium I found difficult. But then that was in English, so the Abyssal Hunters? Columbia is Victoria a bit easier. Yes, it's Victorian simplified. Oh hey, is that our land-bound friend I spy? Aw, he looks worried about us. Wave. He won't see you from that far away. Please let it be like a narration that Georgie waves back. Others are looking this way, though. This tribunal has drawn more attention than expected. We hunters always have, and now they even have the lovely story of our return from the dead. Like it or not, the Abyssal Hunters are in the spotlight now. Ministero dei Lavori Pubblici. That one I did find a little bit difficult, but that was more so because it was long-winded as opposed to the pronunciation. The place in Kazimierz, that one was difficult. The organization, I forgot what it's called. The place in Kava. Like, that one was really difficult for me to pronounce. This tribunal will be our final checkup, yes? Frankly, they're getting tiresome. Well, not the place, but the group of people. I forgot what they were called. Not the commerce people, not the people in charge. The other organization, the one that the woman was with, and all of that. Yeah, the Adeptus. They had like a full. The Adeptus. Blah, 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 blah. That one I found difficult to pronounce. Consider it our warm welcome. The hunters need to keep a low profile. We must also act with prudence, Doctor. We always find ourselves in delicate situations. Indeed, this time we're not merely mediating between two countries, but between land and sea, two vastly different civilizations. Following the tribunal, I will formally address Aegir's consul to foster cooperation between land and sea, but for now, you'll need to assist Gladia you'll need to assist Gladia independently, Doctor. Yes, that one I found really difficult to pronounce. The situation remains uncertain for both the city and ourselves. Certain matters become more difficult if I am placed at the centre of attention. It also gets a lot longer when you're placed at the centre of attention. But no one will be watching your assistant. Yes, but be careful. I would prefer not to have I would prefer not to have to change our objective in the middle of negotiations with the consul. Dr. Calcit sure uses a lot of big words, doesn't she? Thank you. Does she ever get straight to the point? Thank you! Our dear Dr. Calcit thinks too much about too many things, and not nearly enough about how to convey that she cares. Yes. Wouldn't you agree that more direct Aegir-style communication is better, Doctor? Yeah. Don't worry, Shark and I will protect you. Shout out to the Seaborn events for always sticking it to Calcit. Yeah, Didn't Saint Carmen literally just outright say, "Girl, you talk too much" at one point? Or in some more flashy words. Although it was a little bit ironic from him because they both pretty much extended the entirety of the whole of that event within like just the first half of it from them talking to each other. But I vaguely remember him at some point saying, "Oh, I'm too old for this conversation," or something like that. And I think the band also mentioned it as well. Say, where's Captain Gladia? I imagine she'll show up with Consul Clementia. After all, or it might be Clementia, but I don't know. I'm desperately trying not to say chlamydia, but after all, she's the one who will be taking the stand today. The AOS said that, told us nothing in many words. On the tired had, that is enough. Stodifera had both, "I'm too old for this shit," and says nothing with a whole. Yeah, that's right, yeah, the... Oh, hello. Excuse me, are you Laurentina? For starters, nice effect. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Secondly, related, question mark? Or they just happen to have the same chin and eyes? And ears that go downwards. I had a hunch I'd find you here, advisor. The environmental sample test results are out. We need you to take a look at and see if we need another round of genetic testing. How hard do you find sanctilaminium abrosi? If I remember correctly, I just called it abrosi when I was doing that one. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your message. You seem preoccupied by the Abyssal Hunters Tribunal. You used to work at the Abyssal Hunters lab, right? I'd rather not talk about it. But yes, I was researching gene splicing methods. That would provide a safer and more effective way to perform the Hunter modifications. I prefer not to talk about it, but let me tell you the entirety of what I did. But you didn't like the program? It's not about liking or disliking it. It's that it failed to produce results, despite all the sacrifices we made. But what matters now is that they're alive, Gladia and the others. I have to be here, if only for them. Were you too close? If only she thought so too. How many times are we going to have a doctor that's like, "Oh, you know, I care about this person," and the person who was literally a test subject? Also gives me a little bit of a vibe of Odo from Deep Space Nine and the scientist that worked with him. I'm liking the NPC designs for these people. They all do at least have some differences to them. Magister Vitus, may I sit here? Of course, Cassia. Be careful though. Recovery from embryo separation surgery takes time. Or is that like a C-section or something? Or their version of that, maybe? This is Geordie, a guest from Iberia. Thank you, and hello. Oh, hello. There are more participants than I expected. Cassia, yet another "this NPC is too hot" example. True. Even when the Institute of Facility Management held a tribunal to discuss modifications to the city's unlit framework, only 2 departments were involved. The tribunal systems exist to solve problems, after all. The only reason to involve more departments is when the problem is too complex for one. Nice hip window. Yeah, kinda. But the Sophon Theatrum is already half full. Is the return of the Abyssal Hunters really such a big deal? I think at this point I'm just going to call it the Theatrum. It's a project that took 2 centuries of debate before implementation. Its philosophy shook the very foundations of Aegea, and its every progress tucks the string of Aegea's future. Besides, the waterway program is reaching the most critical juncture. Even the smallest thing out of the ordinary is worthy of attention. Simply reading a report is not nearly enough to come to an informed decision. Consul Clementia needs the counsel of experts in multiple fields. I'm sure that many have come to their own accord, come of their own accord though. The return of free hunters is bound to cause unease at such a sensitive time. I'm not really here for the tribunal, but I heard you might make an appearance, so... Oh god, someone's got a crush. And who might you be? Oh, sorry. I'm Lucia. I had the honor of meeting your parents once. Rulers and ink. Are you an architect working on the dome system here? I transferred out of that last year, but I'm still with the Institute of Facility Management. Now I maintain the city unit framework and measure ocean currents. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Scarf. I saw the double L and made it yeah, because in Spanish double L is yeah, and I just automatically read it as that. So I read it as Lucia, but I suppose it would be Lucilla or something like that. Envy not the sun, for we have given ourselves the eternal stars and the infinite sea. When I was little, the foster parents at the Institute of Incubation took us to hold a performance here. We created a matrix of tiny optical machines representing neural activity with changes to the brightness of the dots. We'd rehearsed thoroughly, but the theatrum malfunctioned on the day of the performance and the whole place went dark, except for those little machines. But a couple in the audience worked their magic, and ribbons of light fell from the dome, as if arms reaching out to invite our little machines to dance. It was so beautiful that the blackout almost felt intentional. I can picture the smug look on their faces. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they really had something to do with it. When the Institute of Development Planning did its career assessment, I applied for the dome system without a second thought. It was only then that I learnt they were famous dome designers. That was the only time I saw them. So they were right at the right time and place to inspire you. But you said you transferred out of dome work. Why, when you've already formed such a special bond with our big, transparent friend above? Lucilla, the tribunal's about to start. You want to sit here? Sorry, my colleague is calling out to me. Anyway, welcome home, Laurentina. And I wish you the best of luck. Pretty much everyone's here. Hey, where are you going, Doctor? I'll just be watching from the stands. Calcit's words really got to you, haven't they? As you're all well aware, Milarium has... Or is it Milarium? Nah, Milarium, I'm just going to call it Milarium. Has successfully made contact with Iberia. As such, the waterway program now enters its most critical phase. A thread of light leaves the massive coral-shaped terminal to surround her, forming a giant ethereal ring in the air that dances to the console's words. More threads weave together to form cities and tides, hunters and seaborn, transmuting words into images and giving substance to sound. The crowd quiets down. And at this crucial juncture, we should make a drinking game out of them saying that word. We also welcome home our surviving abyssal hunters, Gladia, Skadi, and Lurandina. The results of their physical examinations and Gladia's mission report have been uploaded to the Theatrum's terminal and are available for your perusal. I'm sure many of you have already done so. Concerning the irregular circumstances they're in, I now call upon Consul Gladia, leader of the year's honoured Exercitus. There we go. Jesus, that was difficult. And chief designer of warfare of the Abyssal Hunters, to answer your questions. You navigate through several rows of a year and sit in one of the back rows, with plenty of room around you. You have a clear view of everything happening in the Theatrum. The tribunal has already begun. The speakers do not raise their voices, yet every word is clear in massive ring-like structure. Gladia steps forward, drawing everyone's gaze. Suddenly, you hear footsteps so soft. You hear footsteps so soft, they are almost inaudible, like a shadow from the somber dome touching the floor. Not a sound, or I'll crush your throat. Oh, hello. Why are you threatening me with a good time? Oh, round battle, I guess.
We'll be fine if we stick together.
Don't worry. My poison is not contagious.
Let's see if our enemies have anything to offer besides numbers. Forwards!
No, I can't. Okay. Damn. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do... Yeah, I'll do it.
Awaiting your honey to me, poison to you.
At your service, speeding up!
Oh, I should have not done that. Ah, I should have not put her there.
Your orders.
Solid positioning. Just try me.
I quite like this, to be honest. It reminds me of being able to place the blockers and all that. I'm gonna do there,
Oh,
and I'm
it's
gonna do
finally
that
my
there.
turn.
Ah, fuck! I wasn't paying attention.
Now's the time to help everyone out. I'm so tense.
Fear not. Here I come.
I should have done that earlier. See, this is what happens when you underestimate the lower levels. That there will be a stain to remind me of what happens when I underestimate the low-level things. I just stop paying attention and suddenly they're gone through the thing. Well, here's dapper. They do say pride beget the fall, yeah. And unfortunately, there's more pride in me than a parade, so... yeah. Consul Gladia, is it your opinion that the issue does not lie with the battle itself? Correct. What you see before you is a projection of the battle. If anyone here notices a flaw, I haven't. I'd expect it to be pointed out. Sorry, I don't know why I was supposed to be there. I suppose that could be a woman. Although it's hard to tell though, because what looks like a skirt could also be like, you know, the Greco-Roman sort of like battle skirt things that they had. I forgot what they're called. Although that does kind of... either it's a very buff dude with a small waist, like half of the artwork you tend to see of guys on the internet, or it's a woman, which it probably is. I think that is supposed to be like those battle skirt things, because that, and then you've got like the ab work sort of armor. I mean, it's a uniform. It's like a dress uniform, but still, like it's made to look like those old armors, and then you've got the actual helmet with the thing on it, and a gladius, or it looks like a gladius anyway, or a spatha. No, I have no objections to the battle plan. It was the most suitable one, given what we knew at the time. The helmet is very Roman. Yes, either that or... what was the other one? Was it Sparta that had a similar one? I think they also have had a relatively similar one. It's just without the fur or hair, so it's just sort of the structure of it. However, I would like your opinion on what we knew at the time. I have to admit that Aegir's knowledge of the seaborn back then was deeply flawed. As such... what are they trying to say? Still not used to their way of thinking, are you? You never did like thinking much, even back home. Wow. They mean no ill will. They're simply seeking the truth they need. Identify every flaw and question all perfections. The most heated debates will uncover the truth in its full beauty and reveal the right way forward. Just leave it to Swordfish. If you don't want to listen, just take a nap. In conclusion, our greatest error when designing the warfare 5 years ago was failing to make allowance for flaws in our knowledge. Until every last truth of terror is revealed, we must admit that our understanding of the Seaborn will remain flawed. Our warfare design must reflect this revelation. I concur. Your conclusion should be incorporated into our future battle plans. Aegir doing Socratic questioning. It definitely does have that kind of vibe, doesn't it? It has been an honour to reflect upon this critical battle and reach a fruitful conclusion with you. That said, the battle 5 years ago is not our only concern. You're exactly right, Still. That is pretty much how it feels. We have more pressing issues to worry about. Your physical examination has revealed mutations that cannot be ignored. The same goes for Scadi and Laurentina. I do not doubt your loyalty, but we need to know how assimilation by seaborn genes will affect your behaviour. Apologies for my candour. Milarium will soon identify the locations of the remaining nests. Then, the seaborn will be driven out by Class 4 weapons, opening a waterway. Is there any possibility that the Abyssal Hunters will become an enemy of the Aegir and of yourselves? Oh. Sorry. Hunters out of control pose a greater risk to Aegir than the Seaborn. The Abyssal Hunters are the flip side of Aegir, created in Aegir's most despicable attempt at salvation. They are now both feared and pitied by their creators. So, the Flame Chasers. Abyssal Hunter Upian... What was I about to say? Ulpianus, I presume. Shouldn't you be down there too? No, I'm too busy being cool and edgy. You're much calmer than I expected, and you know who I am. It seems Gladia has built a relationship on land with more than just the one doctor. No, I am the doctor. I've never seen you in any of the operations. You're not an Inquisitor, nor an Islander. The doctor from Rhode Island brought you to Aegir, but kept your identity a secret. I'm also from Rhode Island. You may introduce yourself however you like. However, the point is that you can help the hunters. Why don't you just go to Scadi, Spectre, Gladia? Yeah. I'm assuming it's going to be a different answer each time, considering that this event actually has had different answers each time. Gladia, seeing as she's the leader. Although they did have a JoJo off at one point, so maybe that wasn't the best option. Now is not the time. You don't trust the hunters? On the contrary, I do trust them, but I also know them all too well. Scadi acts before thinking. Laurentina has not been lucid for long. Gladia will inevitably be the one to make decisions. I've already shared much of what I know with her. She should be on guard. She knows the potential restrictions, but nevertheless decided to return to Aegir. Overeager to return to a family and a familiar environment, she is oblivious to the fact that she has placed herself in the spotlight, where all that can and cannot be trusted have the power to scrutinize her. Now is not the best time for the Abyssal Hunters to come home. Their decision is a big gamble. Why did you sneak into the city then? Gladia and the others are not in a good situation. They underwent modifications, but unlike me, they were not part of the Abyssal Hunters Project's core research. Explaining the changes in their bodies will be difficult for them. Hello, Dylan. I'll pass on some information to you, and I'll need you to help Gladia if necessary. Convey my warning to her later. But yeah, I wondered. Hello, Diami. Hope you're doing well. As for the rest, may I say a few things? Blandus is here too? Ah, is this the point where we do not trust him? Blandus? Oh, okay, I guess we all know him. A member of the Abyssal Hunter research, I'm guessing. Oh, right, no, sorry, I was thinking of Avitus, that's why. Oh, I got the names mixed up. I was thinking of Avitus for a moment for some reason, so I was like, oh, why is everyone surprised? And then there. Oh, really? Does Ulpianos not have a deep voice? That's weird, because I was kind of expecting someone with a relatively deep voice. Isn't this just like the old days? You and Ulpianus used to get into arguments with the research staff while I was napping. Your comments would be much appreciated, advisor. He is so bland, Karma is confusing him with another NPC. You flatter me, Consul. Also, is it just me, or do all of the dodgy scientists in Arknights have like a weary smile? I was the technical advisor to the Abyssal Hunter project, responsible for the gene splicing research used in the modification process. In other words, at this exact moment and in this exact place, I am the leading authority on the Abyssal Hunters. Gladia, Laurentina, and Scadi. I keep wanting to say Scadia. I think I did that in the video I did for Salviento. I was like, Scadia? Scadia? Have been fighting on dry land too frequently and for too long. It is indeed cause for concern regarding their physical condition. As such, your concerns are not without reason, but my answer is this. No. They will not become seaborn. The hall goes silent, and the crowd goes mild. Blandus clears his throat. Let me try to explain this in layman's terms. Under ordinary circumstances, seaborn genes exhibit abnormal dominance and will irreversibly overwrite any pre-existing traits in their hosts. In Abyssal Hunters, however, we have managed to extend the timeline of this process until it far exceeds the natural lifespan of any given hunter. Furthermore, the Academy of Technology made a critical breakthrough, allowing us to implement a auto-adaptive junction in all of the hunters before their deployment to eradicate the Firstborn. The auto-adaptive junction was implemented at the splice point between human and seaborn DNA to assist the hunters in more closely monitoring their seaborn genes. If the seaborn genes exhibited abnormal dominance, the junction would signal the body to resist their attempt at taking over. While there has undoubtedly been some degree of decay of their auto-adaptive junctions, after 5 years without maintenance, the changes they've undergone remain well within acceptable ranges. In layman's terms, yeah, I know, right? It's like, did this person learn how to talk in layman's terms from the same place that Calcit learned how to talk in layman's terms? Because I feel like they say a lot, and it doesn't really clarify it any better. So you say, advisor, but there is a record of a failed auto-adaptive junction surgery in the Abyssal Hunter lab archives. Now imagine if it was not layman's terms. True. I mean, I suppose it's kind of like when you learn about general relativity, or is it special relativity? One of the two, in high school, or secondary school really, for those who have an actual education. And that's all in layman's terms, but it's still difficult. But then you go to like university and how it actually is, and it's like, oh fucking hell. That was Ulpianus. The archive should also note that multiple clinical trials have demonstrated that the incident did not produce any adverse effects. For this, I gladly take full responsibility and will answer any queries. Yes, in science, schools dumb it down so much it's almost wrong. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, when I did GCSE chemistry, you obviously learn like the atoms as like a 2D thing. So you've got like the ball of protons and neutrons, and then it's like rings of electrons. And then I did A level, which is from 16 to 18, and suddenly you've got this 3D space with S shells, P shells, D shells, and then it goes from like 1S, 1P, 1D, 2S, 2P, 2D, and it... Oh no, it's SP, SPD, 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 because the third one doesn't exist first. It goes way too much. Yeah, it was... Oh yeah, I forgot F. Yeah, the orbitals were just a nightmare. Like, I think the very first thing my chemistry teacher said when we went into A level was, everything you learnt in GCSE was a lie, and then proceeded to tell us what it actually is, and I struggled. Now that the Abyssal Hunters have returned to Aegir, their condition will be under control. Why did the mermaid wear seashells? Why? Am I to infer that you already have an effective means to contain their mutation? There is an Abyssal Hunter lab in the city that we can reactivate. I'll personally perform maintenance on their auto-adaptive junctions. What of Orpianus? How can we be sure that the hunter who has refused to return to Aegir will not become seaborn? Or that what we fear hasn't already happened? Or that what we fear hasn't already happened? Degrades their beach shells. Oh god. Wow. Sounds like you've just become the target. It's only natural they would be skeptical. It is both human nature and a hard-learned lesson to be wary of what you cannot control. They're not the only ones suspicious of you. I'm equally curious about your motivations. Did you really come out of concern for the hunters? Before the sinking of the Stoltifera, I shared my discovery with Gladia. There is more than one entity like Ishamalar amongst the Seaborn, those known as Firstborn. The Firstborn are stirring. It, or rather they, are about to awaken. Ah, the Elder Gods. Or the 7 Gods of Chaos from Hellboy. I don't know how many or how soon, but it's close. Too soon. This is why the Seaborn have begun migrating towards land. I've ventured into many nests recently, and as a whole, they are feeling a sense of crisis. Ah, the water's starting to become a little bit acidic. You know, global warming and all. Perhaps not even the ocean contains enough nourishment for the awakening of a new god. Will it become another profound silence for the land, or another calamity for the seas? The Great Migration almost perfectly coincides with Aegir's waterway program, but I can only speculate about Malarium's role in all this. Is that not reason enough for me to visit the city? It would be funny if the entire existence of this city and its project is to actually have the Seaborn come onto land through the waterway. As in, like, this place is secretly being led by the Church of the Deep. Although I feel like we'd have seen a little bit more dodgy shit by now. Also, this guy looks like Neptune. Just, like, in general. Like, what Neptune or Poseidon would look like. The Seaborn have proliferated independently, driven by their instincts, but they have come from the Firstborn and cannot defy their fundamental nature. In other words, even if the death of the Firstborn failed to halt their evolution, it should not have caused a rapid emergence of new, previously undocumented traits. I believe I have already addressed that in my report. Yes, the multiple firstborn hypothesis. A logical enough explanation, but that is exactly why I am skeptical of Ulpianus. Our well-laid plans ended in failure. The 3 surviving hunters washed ashore on unfamiliar land before being reunited with the hunter who was last seen to leave the nest. The information Ulpianus has brought, that there are more than one firstborn in the ocean, is more than shocking. It's highly effective. Effective in explaining why the Seaborn's actions have become more disruptive despite your success with the mission objective. Effective in addressing all our questions. And why does that make you skeptical? Perhaps because it's too easy an answer? Because it's an answer so perfect that it is either the incontrovertible truth, or was designed specifically to put our questions to rest. Whether or not to believe the information he gave you will be an enormous impact on our warfare design. If Ulpianus lives, then the most effective way to verify his claim would be to track him down, perhaps even question him directly. You've been quiet, Advisor Blandus. I forgot he was here. Do you have anything to add regarding Ulpianus? You were once students under the same mentor. Wow, Ulpianus is older then, given how old the guy looks. And it was your trust in him that led you to join the Abyssal Hunter project despite your reservations. But I also trust your knowledge and ethics are as an Aegir. You need not rescue yourself. All I can say, Madam Consul, is that I can be accountable for every word I say here at this tribunal. I will not intentionally put forward a hypothesis in his favour, nor will I make any conjectures that could hurt him. That is all. He pleaded the fifth. Sounds like you two are pretty close. Oh, so I guess even a loner has friends. Oh, I'm going to use that one. Ulpianus does not answer. The questioning continues, but Blandus says no more. Suddenly, he looks up towards you, as though he's sensed something. You meet his weary gaze across the length of the theatrum. He seems to have noticed something. The consul next to him and several other Aegir catch that peculiar moment, and some of them follow his gaze. You look to your side and find the seat empty. Just a landlubber. Sorry. Do I need to speak? The tribunal has arrived at an adequate conclusion. Gladia, Skadi, Laurentina, and the rest of the Abyssal Hunters have made tremendous sacrifices and contributions to Aegir. It is a blessing for Aegir that new ideas continue to emerge from their knowledge and experience even after 5 years. They have demonstrated they are both innocent and safe, and that their return at this stage of the Waterway program is not a threat but a reassurance. Yet now, attention turns to another of the surviving hunters, Ulpianus. He has concealed his movements for reasons unknown, and has attempted to influence the other hunters. Both actions clearly contravene his duties. Based on our present information, we are unable to determine his motivations, goals, or even whether he still qualifies as Aegir. Ulpianus must be found. If his intentions are indeed benign, as Gladia claims, our suspicions must be cleared through proper questioning. Those whose questions have been answered may now leave. Those whose questions have not may continue their inquiries. Do you have anything to add, Consul Gladia? Damn the pose. One leg out as well. The coral-shaped terminal at the centre of the theatrum slowly closes and sinks into the ground. The space is now flat and empty. like a stage ready for a new play. Gladia stands alone on it. I have told you all I know. I have no objections to the tribunal's conclusions, nor to the suspicions cast upon Ulpianus. They really put on the spotlight, 5 of them to be exact. She's about to bust a move. She just starts breakdancing. Or she does the dance that W does. People begin to file out, many turning to nod towards Gladia as they reach the exit. The remaining audience continue to ask questions, and Gladia responds to each one, whether she is able to answer or not. The water caustics cast by the dome weave a picture of light and shadow, with the ring of light surrounding the space dancing on Gladia's expressionless face. Gotta go now, we'll catch the rod later. Okay, have a nice time, Les. To be honest, I'm probably not going to be too much longer anyway, because it's nearly 11. It's like 10:30-ish. Even as an Agir, I find this hard to understand sometimes. They fling words at her like spears one moment, then thank her for her contributions next. They're sincere, you know. Science requires people to separate facts from feelings, and they're good at it. It really is sort of like a Socrates kind of thing. You got one more stage in you. I wish, but I do have like work and I have to get up at like 6:30 and all that, so I pretty much would have to go to bed immediately. As for Captain Ulpianus, all they have is suspicions. Swordfish, the doctor, counts it. Someone will think of a way. What next? We wait for Swordfish, which, unfortunately, will take a while. You're sighing too. She used to visit the theatrum to watch plays whenever there wasn't a mission. Sometimes I went with her. Captain Gladia. Is fairly well versed in the arts. Her mother's influence, supposedly. Unlike everyone else, however, she likes the highest, the furthest seats. So I would always end up having to sit apart from her. Oh, I prefer the higher seats, being able to look down. When I was in like the front seats for a play, especially as the stage is often higher than the seats, you don't really see that much. It's much better being towards the back. Just as a reminder, the event lasts 6 more days. I think it's 5 more days, but it's fine. What I'm basically going to do is I'm basically going to stream. I'm going to try and stream every day, or at the very least every other day. So I'll probably do... If I don't do it tomorrow, I'll at least do it Friday. And Friday will be a longer stream because it's a weekend. And then I might try... Oh, I can't do Saturday, so it would have to be the Sunday. But yeah, I'm basically going to try and get it done. I'll try and do it tomorrow as well, but if not, then definitely Friday, and I'll do a long one for that. Arknights might seem old-fashioned with its virtual novel style, but its pictures are always top tier. To be honest, I don't really... I mean, to be honest, I don't really play that many virtual novels, so I don't really know if this is old school or not. I guess it probably kind of is, at least in terms of gachas, but I don't know, I prefer it, to be honest. Although I probably should play more virtual novels, to be honest. Make sure not to push yourself. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to commit to doing it tomorrow right now, just in case, because I have to see what's going on. I think there's some meetings and I might have to walk home, which is like an hour long. But we'll have to see how it goes. Unlike everyone else, however, she likes the highest furthest seats, so I would always end up having to sit apart from her. Why? For her, keeping the distance helps filter out the noise. Ignoring some of the finer details makes it easier for her to fully immerse herself in the story. Right now, though, she's the one at the centre stage. She's lost her accustomed sense of distance, becoming the subject of judgment, scrutiny, and discussion. No one in her position can remain unperturbed. I'm starting to get why I sighed. Why? Because only now does it really feel like we're back.
Good job, everyone. Go get some rest.
Right after the conversation we just had. Well, you heard it here first, folks. The game itself is telling me. Okay, that was. It's been a while since they. It's been a while since the end screen has given a fitting one. Most gachas are fully animated recently. Yeah, I suppose that is true. I mean, even like Reverse, which is kind of novel-like, still has animated sprites and such. What was I going to look at? I was going to check something. Oh, I forgot what it was now. Oh, that's right. Silverash is who I chose. That's right. It was between him and Saria, because I think I had the other ones. Oh, might have been Blaze as well. That was one of the options. So I think it was 3 that I had the options for. But I ended up going with Silverash because I've used Silverash before and I liked it. So I went with him. Oh, I did get Fang. Oh, Silver Daddy's a good pick when you don't have Marina. Yeah, that's the other thing. I pretty much liked having him, really. Time to set the volume at max and put Hunter's song as farewell. True. Another opt add to the grind list. Yep. Wow, I've got so many that I still need to go through. That feels wrong. There's no way I had Fawns before Harold. I swore I got Harold during the event. Oh, Phonos is Logos' mum voice. Okay. You don't use Fawns? I mean, I kind of forgot. Also, I will say I did listen to his voice before and oh my god, it's good. Oh, that's the wrong one. Like,
drink this before you start working. Bien. That medication will keep you up as long as it's in your system. I trust you'll stay focused, won't you?
Which one is it, the one where it's... There it is.
Casi están listos. El siguiente paso es su purificación. Su actual efecto requiere de más pruebas. Why are you staring at my hair, Doctor? It's frazzled? Don't worry about it. Wouldn't be the first time my experiment has failed. Or the second.
I do like that. I really like the voice. And I also just love when he's talking in Spanish, he immediately goes into the Spanish VA voice. Because, like, you may have noticed there is sort of like a kind of tone and accent that pretty much every Spanish voice in voice acting kind of has. And then when he changes back into English, it's different. I don't know, it's quite funny. You can almost hear the pharmacy disclaimer in his voice, actually, because he sounds very similar to that person. I don't know if anyone knows what I mean by the pharmacy disclaimer, but at the end of each sort of like, you know, pharmaceutical advert, there's a thing that says like, read the instructions of this thing and consult your pharmacy. So it's like, lee las instrucciones de este medicamento y consulta el farmacéutico. And they say it like really quickly at the end of it. And it's like almost the same voice that this guy has. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it here now. I will listen to the Hunter's song, but I think I might do that next time, actually. I think I'll do it after a little bit more, because I know this had the thing, but I think I'll do that sort of like a more of a broader wrapping up. I'm not sure what... No, I'm not sure if I have seen the new Chinese event. I might have, but I'm not sure if that is the recent one or like a previous one, so I'm not sure. Why is he at skill level 4? Because I just simply haven't ranked it up. And that's also why. I no doubt have the materials to make it. I haven't actually used him, so... Yeah, I just... Wait, there's a Fawn's altar. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that then. Can't wail for the whale, need to save for the Italians. Oh, that's true. There's going to be the second Siracusa event at some point in the future. I keep forgetting that. Yes, that I do know of. That I did see. Lapland getting an altar. Did I get his outfit? Not that one. No, I didn't. To be fair, he doesn't... Well, that one's a nice outfit. That one... I don't know, it's a bit average, really. And then that's just... Yeah, it's just the things. Oh, that one I do know of. The mother. That one sort of exploded Twitter. I don't even follow that many Arknights related accounts on Twitter for some reason. I don't know why. But my feed just exploded when when images of her was released. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it here. I'm not sure if I will stream tomorrow. It will depend on how things go, like IRL with work and stuff, what time I get home and if I feel like streaming. I definitely will on the Friday though, and it will be a long one. Might even be one where I try to do the whole thing, though that at this rate that probably would be quite a long event, even if it is only like 8 to 10 stages. But I'll try. I'll see how it goes. I can't do Saturdays because Saturdays nowadays are D&D, which is why I haven't streamed on a Saturday for ages. But yeah, so it'll be Friday, and if I don't get it finished on Friday, it'll be Sunday, unless I do stream tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But that's pretty much the plan. I'm going to try and be more I've forgotten the term of it now. Regular, there we go. I'm going to stream more regularly in the future from now on. I'm pretty much back into it. I was doing quite a few projects the past couple of weeks, which I'm now sort of what's the term? I'm working on them, and I've finished it, so there's going to be videos at some point in the future as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm probably going to work throughout the holiday to do that, so that they're ready for the next year, but we'll see how it goes. How about create a VTuber as your D&D character? That would be interesting. I know some people who have done that. Not in the campaign I've been running, but I know some VTubers who have had their VTuber as the D&D character, or vice versa, who have had their D&D character become their VTuber. But I haven't done that. Although it'd be kind of difficult for me because I'm not really sure what class they would even be. Maybe Arcane Trickster Rogue, but then I don't really have illusion. It's more like actual physical stuff. We'll see. Who knows? I have actually considered streaming D&D, or at the very least making videos from it, but I decided not to, and then it's sort of been taken on and it's quite big now. I also don't want to stream my end of it because I am the DM, so I don't want like the DM stuff to be visible for people to see. And Roll20 doesn't really have like a spectator mode or anything, so yeah, it's bleh. I'll probably do it at some point though. When I make a new campaign, when I host a new campaign, I'll probably try and do something like that. We'll see how that goes. I'm starting to dilly-dally now though, so yeah. VTuber is some class of bards. I mean, honestly, yeah. That would kind of. Speaking of taverns though, I want to play that. Oh, I still need to do Valhalla. I know that keeps being asked of me. I promise I will get back to doing it. I keep saying I will and then don't, but I will. But I also want to do Tavern Talk, because that just reminds me of that now, and that looks really nice. But yeah, anyway. That's all for today. I'll see if I can stream tomorrow. If not, it'll be Friday. But until then, though, thank you guys so much for coming around, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Oh, that's the wrong button.